Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm Kiv, your favorite degenerate, and today I want to talk about some of the problems that I've noticed with Halo Infinite's big team battle after day one. I know that this may seem early and we have a whole weekend to play, but I feel as if a lot of these issues that I'm going to be mentioning are pretty blaring and they cannot really just be fixed with more time spent in the game. So I thought I'd just roughly go over a couple of them. I haven't sat down for a proper commentary in quite some time, so I do apologize. I've been trying to upload some clips, obviously, as you guys can all see. Hasn't gone so well, but I'll try and mix them in to my commentaries in my future videos, so that way those people who are still enjoying the commentaries have some reasonable sort of footage to watch at the same time. But anyway, to get into the problems that I've identified with Halo Infinite, well, for starters, Big Team Battle is all about the size, and you don't really get to enjoy the sizable vehicles until the very end, and at which point, by the time you get into something, it's usually game over. Which kind of sucks, because a lot of us are used to having a Banshee, Scorpion, and, various other power vehicles from the very start, and it becomes a bit of a strategy. You basically have to play 3D chess on being able to outplay the other vehicle players on the enemy team, at the same time not exposing yourself and getting Spartan lasered, or even worst case scenario, giving up your vehicle and letting the enemy team take control of it. So I do get the idea behind this. As the game continues on, things get a bit more bigger in scale, and the actual sizable weapons and power weapons become more common. Everything gets kind of dialed to 11. And that's perfectly fine. I can understand where 343 is coming from with their ideas. But I don't think it works for vehicles, because by the end of it, when you're actually in a vehicle like a Banshee or a Scorpion, you just don't feel as if you can make as much of an impact, and you have to fight between your teammates on whether or not you can get into one. On top of that, you also have to still keep an eye out for your enemies. If you are waiting there for a vehicle and then you get sniped, you are going to feel like crap. So I think the powerful vehicles should definitely be in the game a lot sooner than what they're currently at. Now, some of you may be thinking, okay, that's fair enough, but how do you balance that into the game? You can't just put it off a timer, because some games are quick, some games are really close, and they go on for ages. So what do? Well, I think that you should have a good formula that balances the score and the timer, and I think without saying it, they've already got something like that in there, but it needs to be adjusted. Vehicles are part of the big team battle experience, and you should be able to enjoy them as part of that game mode the entire way through, if you ask me. But, if they want to do it this way, that's okay, but I think they should be arriving a fair bit sooner, so that way people can enjoy them and it isn't just a mad dash for a vehicle. That way everyone has enough time to be able to have a chance to get into one of these, because right now you've got 12 players, only one person can pilot these things at a time, and if they're spawning in towards the end of the game, then you're probably only gonna have at the max maybe 2 or 3 members of your team being able to use one of these vehicles. Another issue that I had was that power weapon spawns at the beginning of a game. For one team, you might get a skewer, the other team might get a sniper, and that is really unfair. That should not be happening. This is balancing a game 101. So yeah, let's not do that. That's bad. So one team having a sniper at the start is going to be able to have a really big advantage over the other team, because you've got a power weapon that can contribute a lot more to killing players, but whereas a skewer is a bit more anti-vehicle. It just doesn't really make any sense to me why that's in the game, and that should not be a thing. Those were my main issues with Big Team Battle, but let's just go through the small stuff as well, eh? Firstly, just to quote my good friend Lapper, the Banshee and the Wasp, they just feel as if they're made out of paper mache. You can swat them out of the sky so easily. It's pretty crazy almost, because there is a certain level of skill to flying a Banshee, and that does play a part in it. But when you've got so many weapons that are able to destroy vehicles with so much ease, then, you've got to have vehicles that can at least take a little bit of abuse. And then on the other hand, you've got the Scorpion, and man, that thing is on steroids. It is juiced to the gills. It is it is chunkier than a bodybuilder, because yeah, it can take a lot of abuse, and I'm pretty sure I had one moment where I fired 2 Spunker rockets into it, and it just did a whole lot of nothing. So yeah, not sure if that was some kind of glitch or what, because that Scorpion just did not want to break apart. I have no idea what really happened, because that should not be happening at all. I think they've also changed how you destroy them when you actually manage to board a Scorpion. I think it's something a bit silly, like you can't actually destroy the vehicle, but you destroy the person in it. So yeah, whatever that is, don't do that. I think that the system we had in the past Halo games worked just fine, and we don't really need to change any of this. So yeah, let's not talk about that any longer than we have to. But last and most importantly of all, get the announcer. We need Jeff Steitzer's voice in there. You know, if I'm getting a double or a triple kill, it just doesn't have the same feel if I don't hear that voice in the background, you know? I think it's something that is a staple of Halo, and while having the AI and the callouts and all of it can be a bit of like a sensory overload, if you're doing a hell of a good job, you should still get the announcer, and you should still get, you know, callouts for you absolutely killing it and being a boss. So yeah, but that is pretty much my take on things after day 1 of Big Team Battle. Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear if these issues are similar for you all, or if you've noticed anything else that you're not a fan of. Let me know down below, and I think that's probably a good point to call it for today. If you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed so that way we can hit 1K before Halo Infinite drops. Let's go, guys, we can do it. But yeah, I've been Kiv, and I'll see you all on the next one.